Hello, fifth graders. This is Eureka Math, and we are working on Module 1, Lesson 13. And our objective today is to divide decimals by single-digit whole numbers involving easily identifiable multiples using place value understanding and relate to a written method. Okay, let's break that down. Dividing decimals, okay? So that's what we're doing today. You know the divide symbols, they look like this. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the divide symbol. This is the divide symbol, or this is the divide symbol, or if you see something written in fraction form, that also means divide, right? So, lots of different ways to write division, but division is just the opposite of multiplication. So if you know that 3 times 4 equals 12, you also know that 12 divided by 3 equals 4, and 12 divided by 4 equals 3, okay? See the relationship there? We've taken two parts and we're just making a 3 times 4, and we're taking two smaller numbers, we're making a big number. Here we have a big number and we're splitting into smaller numbers. So, when we divide using our place value understanding, that's like saying 3 times 4 equals 12, or 3 times 4/10 equals 12/10, okay? And how would I write that with decimals? I would say 3 times 4/10 equals 12/10. Okay, so I can do that exact same thing with decimals, or with division. So if I said 12 divided by 3 equals 4, I could also say 12/10 divided by 3 equals 4/10. So the only thing I've done here is I've shifted that decimal over. So now I have 12/10 written like this, divided by 3 equals 4/10. Okay, do you see how these numbers here match these numbers here? And that's that place value understanding, because you know 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And if you put a label on it using unit form, 12/10 divided by 3 equals 4/10. So 12/10 divided by 3 equals 4/10. I just moved it back into standard form. And knowing your place value chart will help you understand how to do that. So that's what they're saying there, using place value understanding and relate to a written method. That written method is our word form. Okay, let's go straight to the Learn page. Name on your paper. Complete the sentence with the correct number of units, then complete the equation. Okay, what do you see here? 4 times something tenths equals, what is that? 16/10. Right, do you see that? I just rewrote it in word form, and here it's already in word form. So what's my answer? 4 times what equals 16? Pretty sure you already know, that's 4, right? So 4/10 equals 1 6/10. 4 times 4/10 equals 1 6/10. So that's what I'm saying there. Do you understand that? So now we just flip the numbers around. 16/10 divided by 4 equals 4/10. Right? 16/10 divided by 4 equals 4/10. All right. Do you see the relationship there? The first one was multiplication, the second one was division. Next one, 8 groups of blank hundredths equals, well, what is that? That decimal there, that's 32 hundredths. So 8 times what equals 32? 8 times 4, so 4 hundredths. All right, now we already know our answer here. So now we've got 32 hundredths Oh my gosh. My handwriting is getting sloppier and sloppier. Hundredths divided by 8 equals 4 hundredths. I'm just treating that like a label, right? Like kilometers or grams. And now I just rewrite it back in standard form as 4 hundredths. Cool. Okay, next one. 7 groups of how many thousands equals 84 thousandths? So this is already in thousands, so I don't need to write it out. You know that. 7 times what equals 84? Well, let's see. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 11 is 77. 7 times 12 is 84. I'm not so good with my 12s. Sometimes I have to count up. Okay, so math facts. Now you're not the only ones. Let's just double check that. Just make sure I've got that right. 7 times 2 is 14, carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8, 84. Yep. Okay. Now I've got 84 thousandths divided by 7 equals 12 thousandths. So how can I write that? 0, 0, 12. 12 thousandths. Okay, next one. 5 groups of blank tenths is, well, how could we, I'm going to say 20 tenths. That's going to make my brain not have to work so hard if I rewrite that as tenths, right? 5 groups of 4 tenths equals 20 tenths. Okay, so 20 tenths divided by 5 equals 4 tenths. Right? Okay, I hope this is not as hard as it seems, right? This is actually pretty easy if you know your math facts. Complete the number sentence. Express the quotient. Quotient is an answer that you get when you divide. Quotient is a division answer in units and then in standard form. Okay, in units and then standard form. By units, they just mean standard form or unit form. Okay, so what do we have here? 4 ones and 2 tenths is the same as 42 tenths. Divided by 7 is what? What times 7 equals 42? Okay, 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. So 6 tenths. Okay, so then I'm going to put it back in standard form. So I've got my unit form here. So read that again. Complete the number sentence. There it is. By expressing the quotient in units, which is what we just did. So literally, we wrote this as this. It's the exact same, right? We just went from 4 and 2 tenths to 42 tenths. So this and this are exactly the same. Then we solved it, 6 tenths in unit form, and now we're going to answer it again in standard form, okay? Seems like a lot of steps, but they're trying to show you how you can jump from standard form to unit form as much as you need to. And 6 tenths is written like that. Okay. So here we've got, I'm going to rewrite this over here, 2 ones divided by 2. So they're really, okay, so they're really taking this 2 divided by 2. And then 64 hundredths, they put that all together, 64 hundredths divided by 2, okay, equals, well, 2 ones divided by 2 would equal 1 1. And 64 hundredths divided by 2 would equal, well, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, so 32 hundredths. So our answer is 1 and 32 hundredths. Now I'm just going to take just a minute here. If we were using the standard algorithm, I would say 264 divided by 2, right? So I would divide the 2 into the ones, and then what they did is they divided the 2 into the hundredths space, but we could divide it into the tenths and into the hundredths. And then we would actually get the answer right away. And I'm going to just go ahead and delete this. So 2 goes into 2 one time with no remainder. 2 goes into 6 3 times with no remainder. And 2 goes into 4 2 times with no remainder. Okay, so that's what they're doing. They're taking that place value and they're just dividing by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, as long as these questions are very easy, that's all right. Once we start getting remainders and leftovers, then we have to do something different. Okay. Next one, 12 and 64 hundredths. So we've got 12 ones divided by 2, and 64 hundredths divided by 2 equals, well, 12 divided by 2. So here's what they've done. They're just they're expanding this form for us, okay? So 12 ones divided by 2 is 6 ones. And 64 hundredths divided by 2 would be 32 hundredths, right? That's the same as up here. And now we have 6 ones and 32 hundredths. Okay. Next one. Oh my goodness, what did they do here? They're saying, okay, they want you to put it into tenths. They want you to put all of this into tenths. So here we've got 4 and 2 tenths, so that's 42 tenths. That's 42 tenths right there, and then we've got 6 hundredths left over. Okay, that's nice though, because you see how that 6 is going to go right into that 42, and then it's going to go right into that 6. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, so 42 tenths divided by 6 equals 7 tenths. Plus 6 hundredths divided by 6 would be 1 hundredth. And then if I want to write that into standard form, which I do, I'm going to get the answer of 7 and 1 hundredth. Cool. Yeah, that works out. Okay, are you liking this idea of putting things into unit form before you divide it? I like it. I think it's a lot easier. Okay, now here they haven't given us any tips. We have to do it on our own. So let's see. I like that 42 idea, so let's do that. 42 ones divided by 6, right? So I'm taking this chunk out first. And then I'm going to do 36 thousandths. Do you see that? Plus 36 thousandths divided by 6. Now I have multiples of 6 in both chunks, and that makes my life really easy. So 42 ones divided by 6 is 7 ones. And 36 thousandths divided by 6 is 6 thousandths. Okay, be careful here. It's 6 thousandths. So that means we have 7 and 0, 0, 6 thousandths. Okay, don't forget your zeros. Excellent. Good, that was a good one. Next one, number 3. Find the quotients. What does quotient mean? Quotient means the answer to a division problem. Then use words or word form, numbers or standard form, or pictures to describe any relationship you notice between each pair of problems and quotients. Okay, well, 32 divided by 8 equals what? 4, right? 4 times 4 is, 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, so what do we do over here? 32 divided by 8. Now be careful. The answer is not 4. It's not. Because here what we have is 32 tenths divided by 8 equals what? 4 tenths. So you have to write it like 4 tenths when you write it in standard form. That means you have to write it like that, okay? Be careful. Don't just pop the decimal in there because you think it's supposed to be there. Know why you're doing it, okay? So we've used some word form. Then we didn't use any pictures, but we did use some numbers, okay. 81 divided by 9 equals 9. That was one of my favorite math facts when I was in probably 3rd grade. 9 times 9 is 81. I love the 9s. 9s were easy for me for whatever reason, because there was that fun trick where the two numbers always add up to 9. Right? Do you guys know that one? It's my favorite. So 0 plus 9, right, is 9 times 1. And then 9 times 2 is 18. Well, look. Oh, wait a minute. I'll just show you quick. And I'm only telling you because I do think some of you need so much help with your math facts. I'm just shocked sometimes. Okay, so this equals 9. 8 plus 1 equals 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 plus 7 equals 9. 9 times 4 is 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. Gosh, I love the 9s. 9 times 5 equals 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 times 6 equals 54. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 9 times 7 equals 63. 6 plus 3 equals 9. 9 times 8 equals 72, right? 7 plus 2 equals 9. And then 9 times 9 equals 81. 8 plus 1 equals 9. So a little math fact trivia for you if you didn't know that little trick. There you go. Help you out a little bit. And the first number is always one less than the number it's being multiplied by, right? So here the first number is 0. Here the first number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I could count backwards the other way too. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gosh, the 9s are fun. Okay, sorry, sidetrack. All right, let's write this into word form. And I have, what do I have here? 81. It's not hundredths, it's thousandths. Divided by 9 equals, and I know 81 divided by 9 equals 9, but I can't forget that label here. So it's 9 thousandths. So 9 thousandths is written like that. Okay? All right. Are the quotients below reasonable? Explain your answers. Well, I mean, if we were to flip this around, we could say 7 times 8 equals, well, 56. Does it equal 5 6/10? No. The real answer, would be, well, let's see, that's 56/10 divided by 7 equals 8/10. And I would write that, as 8/10 would be 0.8. Okay? All right, let's try this one. 56 divided by 7 equals 8/10. Well, no, we just said that 7 times 8 equals 56. Not 7 times 8/10. That doesn't make sense either. No. 56 divided by 7 equals 8. We know that. That's a math fact. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8. I like that one too. All right. Next one. 56 hundredths divided by 7 equals 8 hundredths. Well, that makes sense. Let's just double check. 56 hundredths divided by 7 equals 8 hundredths. Yes, correct. Okay, please explain with a little bit more detail than I did. I'm explaining to you with my words, but because you are turning this in on paper, you need to explain with your written words, not your speaking words. And just two quick story problems. 12 and 4800 milliliters of medicine were separated into doses of 4 milliliters each. How many doses were made? Okay, so this is milliliters and this is milliliters. They're both the same. They spelt this one out and they used the abbreviation here, but they're both milliliters. Okay, so 12 and 48 milliliters were separated into 4 milliliters each. Okay. So we're going to divide that into 4. So what they did is they divided this, and I'm going to use a beautiful little tape diagram here. 12 and 48, and they broke it into 4 pieces, right, of 4 milliliters each. So how many, oh, that's not right. No. How many is in each of those, right? So let's do that. 12 divided by 12 and 48 hundredths divided by 4. So let's go ahead and write it out. 12 ones divided by 4 plus, I like that 12 because I know that's a multiple of 4. And I like this 48 because it's also a multiple of 4, so let's use that one too. Plus 48, and that's hundredths, divided by 4, okay? So that equals what? 12 ones divided by 4 is 3 ones. See how I'm doing things inside the parentheses first. 48 hundredths divided by 4, well, 48 divided by 4 is 12 hundredths. Okay, and 3 ones plus 12 hundredths would be 3 and 12 hundredths. Okay, how many doses were made? 3 and, yeah, it's written weird, but 3 and 12 hundredths doses. You might want to put milliliters there, but actually it's asking you how many doses were made. So 4 milliliter doses, actually I'm just going to go ahead. If this is 4 milliliters, and this is 4 milliliters, and this is 4 milliliters, right? We have 1, 2, 3 full doses, because that's 4, 8, 12, and then the leftover, wait a minute, let me check and make sure I'm not doing that wrong. I don't like how they worded this one. It's not my favorite problem. Okay, yeah, I guess. Just weird. 4, 8, 12, and 48. Okay, weird. All right, doses. The price of milk in 2013 was around $3.28 a gallon. This was 8 times as much as you would have probably paid for a gallon of milk in the 1950s. So we're going to put 2013 here and 1950 here. What was the cost of a gallon of milk during the 1950s? Okay, so a gallon is what they buy milk in the United States. It's about this big. It's about 2 and some liters, okay, and it comes in a nice big jug with a handle. And every kid in their childhood spills it at least once. That's why there's a saying that says, don't cry over spilled milk, because a gallon is too big for a little kid to lift up. All right, the price of milk in 2013 was $3.28. That was 8 times as much as you would have probably paid for a gallon of milk in the 1950s. 8 times. So let's divide this into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is what you would have paid in the 1950s. Okay, if you're paying $3.28 in 2013. What was the cost for a gallon of milk during the 1950s? So here's our diagram of the whole thing, $3.28. But we're going to divide that into 8, and what we have left is just one cost. So let's do this. 3 to 8 divided by 8 equals. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the method that we've been using, turning it into unit form. And I'm going to look for my multiples of 8, and I see 2 of them. 32 is a multiple of 8, and 8 is a multiple of 8. So let's say this 3 and 2/10 would be the same as saying 32/10, and this would be 8/100 divided by 8. Okay, so this equals this. Now I'm going to split this apart, and I'm going to divide 32/10 divided by 8 plus 8/100 divided by 8. Okay, and here I get 4/10 because 32 divided by 8 is 4. Keep my label. And 8/100 divided by 8 would be 1/100. So this equals this equals this. Now, if I want to write this back in standard form, 4/10 looks like this, 4/10 and 1/100. So each of these, and this would be in dollars, each of these would be 41 cents. So that right there would be 41 cents, or 48/100 of a dollar. Okay, right? And if I had 8 of those, that would equal $3.28. That makes sense to me. Okay, so tomorrow in class we will work on the lesson 13 homework and the exit ticket. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Dividing decimals, you're getting there. Working on NBT 0.7, that's the standard we're working on. Great, have a good day.